The woman, who is likely the world's best-known children's author, is defending herself against growing accusations of transphobia. This is J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter, of course, who sparked outrage last weekend with a series of controversial tweets about trans women.
J.K. Rowling, the renowned author of the Harry Potter series, has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond by directly challenging the influential ideals of woke culture. She has refused to give in to intense pressure to conform, and her sharp criticism has left Hollywood reeling, as many celebrities, producers, and writers scramble to respond. As battle lines are drawn, the question on everyone's mind is, what consequences will Rowling face for defying Hollywood's powerful woke lobby?
Harry Potter came to me on a train in 1990. I was sitting just staring out of the window, and the idea just fell out of nowhere. It was the purest stroke of inspiration I've ever had in my life, and I've been writing about him ever since.
On June 6th, 2020, J.K. Rowling ignited widespread controversy with a tweet that many interpreted as transphobic. The tweet was a response to an article that used the phrase "people who menstruate" to describe individuals who experience menstruation. The article was titled "Creating a More Equal Post-COVID-19 World for People Who Menstruate." Rowling commented sarcastically, questioning why the term "women" wasn't used. Her tweet read, "People who menstruate. I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumben, wimpend, womed." This statement was interpreted by many as sarcastic and dismissive of trans-inclusive language. The use of "people who menstruate" was intended to include not only cisgender women, but also transgender men and non-binary people who menstruate. Rowling's comment seemed to challenge the need for inclusive language, implying that only women menstruate, disregarding the identities of trans and non-binary individuals who also experience menstruation.
I think they thought that J.K. Rowling was a more memorable name, but I think also because they thought it was a book that boys would enjoy. They might have wanted to hoodwink a few boys into thinking a man had written it. But I know that girls have really enjoyed it, from letters I've received.
In 2018, she came under fire for liking a tweet by a user that referenced men in dresses. A spokesperson for Rowling told Newsweek that the like was a mistake. The representative said, "I'm afraid J.K. Rowling had a clumsy and middle-aged moment, and this is not the first time she's accidentally favorited something by holding her phone incorrectly." Rowling also tweeted, "If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased." In response to the Hate Crime and Public Order Act that took effect on April 1st, 2024, J.K. Rowling made headlines by challenging Scottish police to arrest her for her posts describing transgender women as men. In her statements, she emphasized that she welcomed any legal repercussions for her comments, which she believed are grounded in biological reality. Rowling expressed concerns over freedom of speech in Scotland, stating that if her accurate descriptions were deemed criminal, it would set a troubling precedent for free expression.
Well, Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling and Ricky Gervais have proved that if you stand up to the woke, eventually you win. J.K. Rowling's book sales went from $7 million to $11.9 million worth last year. This despite the fact she was attacked by trans activists because she said that women deserve their own private spaces.
J.K. Rowling's views on woke culture are deeply intertwined with her stance on gender and feminism. On June 10, 2020, Rowling published a detailed essay on her website defending her controversial views on transgender issues. This came in response to significant backlash following her earlier social media comments, where she was labeled as aligning with trans-exclusionary radical feminism. She explained, "For people who don't know, last December I tweeted my support for Maya Forstater, a tax specialist who lost her job over what was deemed transphobic tweets. She took her case to an employment tribunal, asking the judge to rule on whether a philosophical belief that sex is determined by biology is protected in law. Judge Taylor ruled that it wasn't."
I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was. and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded at anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in the one arena where I believed I truly belonged.
In her essay, Rowling shared personal experiences as a survivor of domestic abuse and sexual assault, stating that she had never publicly disclosed these experiences before. However, she felt it was important to provide context for her views on sex and gender. She expressed concerns about the implications of redefining gender, particularly in regard to women's rights and safety in single-sex spaces. Rowling emphasized that biological sex should be distinguished from gender identity, arguing that this distinction is crucial in discussions about feminism and women's rights. Rowling framed her perspective as one that prioritizes the safety and rights of women. She highlighted concerns, particularly in settings like shelters and public restrooms, expressing fear that allowing transgender women into these spaces could pose risks to biologically female individuals. She cited her own traumatic experiences to illustrate these concerns.
I have reported J.K. Rowling to the police for what she said, which I don't know if that's going to be treated as a hate crime, malicious communications, but it's a cut and dried offence as far as I'm concerned.
Rowling also criticized language that prioritizes inclusivity at the expense of what many women consider essential to their identity. She described terms like menstruators and people with vulvas as dehumanizing, reflecting her belief that such language reduces women's identities to biological functions, overlooking their broader societal roles. In her essay, Rowling stressed the importance of freedom of speech, arguing that raising concerns about transgender policies should not be equated with transphobia or bigotry. Instead, she viewed these discussions as necessary to protect women's rights and interests. Rowling stated that her intent was not to deny the identities of transgender individuals, but to advocate for dialogue that also includes women's perspectives. Moreover, she expressed concerns about societal pressures on young people regarding gender identity, reflecting on her own struggles with mental health. She speculated that if she were a teenager today, she might have been persuaded to transition.
Now, J.K. Rowling has said she will never forgive Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson for the way they threw her under the bus to support radical trans activists.
Notable figures, including actors from the Harry Potter franchise and LGBTQ+ advocacy groups, publicly disagreed with her views. Daniel Radcliffe, known for portraying Harry Potter, publicly expressed his disagreement in a statement for the Trevor Project, an organization focused on suicide prevention for LGBTQ+ youth. He firmly supported transgender rights, stating, "Transgender women are women."
For the influential author of children's literature to be so vehemently anti-trans and to so publicly shame, ridicule, and invalidate trans people is lethal. And I can't talk about it without getting mad.
Meanwhile, critics accused her of transphobia, claiming that her comments perpetuate harmful stereotypes and discrimination against the transgender community. If you like this video, make sure to visit our channel for more videos like this.